Oh, bonjour, dickheads. Welcome to another episode of my live podcast, Fuck the Wall. It's every Monday, 9 p.m, right here on YouTube, or you can listen to it back on any of your favorite podcasting apps if you don't want to see my ugly face. Today is episode 7. It is Monday, the 23rd of October. Today, I'm going to talk about this last week. And doing, in 6 days, doing 5 shows in 4 countries to almost 4,000 people altogether. It was amazing. And this is what this podcast is. You get to ask me questions. It's live on YouTube, and I take you behind the scenes of my job as a comedian right here in France. Also, as usual, we will go through some of your favorite terrible translations. I'm pausing there because I keep forgetting that Apple has changed their little fucking AI visual thing, and every time you do something fun, like I put 2 thumbs up, oh, the fireworks start to happen. It's crazy. All this AI stuff is going to be taking over the world. Right, before we get into it, upcoming shows, ladies and gentlemen. My next show is in France. It's in Toulouse on the 3rd of November. I have 2 weeks off, which is amazing because basically I've been working for 12 days non-stop, including today, because this is technically fucking work! Since people pay me to do it. The legends that are on Patreon that follow me. So Toulouse on the 3rd, and then Canada. Oh, Canada, terre de nos aïeux. I'm coming to Canada. We're doing a tour around Canada at the beginning of November. We start in the 7th. On the 7th in Ottawa. The 8th is Quebec, tabarnak. The 9th is Montreal, Colis. Then we've got the 12th in Toronto, the 13th in Edmonton, the 14th in Calgary, and the 15th in Vancouver. Go Maple Leafs. That's Toronto. Shut up, Paul. And then we have got Bordeaux as soon as we get back from Canada, and some more dates at the end of November. So those are the upcoming dates that we've got coming up for the show. If you want to come and see me live, which I highly suggest you do, is because it's better than watching me fucking online. Do you know what I mean? Who wants to watch me online? People in their pajamas, Paul, and people that don't live anywhere near where I'm doing a show. It's paultaylorcomedy.com/tickets. You can find all of the details. We have about 27 shows left of this show, Bisous Bye, and then I'm done. And then that is it. That is the end of Bisous Bye. I'm saying goodbye to Bisous Bye. The last show is at Le Zénith, of course, on the 6th of January. In Paris, Le Zénith de Paris. We need to fill that fucking room. It is massive. And we need some more people to come to the show. So, that is the update, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's talk about this last week, shall we? Jesus Christ. It feels like this week has been, it feels like a month ago that I was sat here talking to you guys at the end of my garden. But it was a week ago, and in that week, we did Madrid, Barcelona, Frémin-Merlebach in the east of France, Luxembourg, and we just got back from Strasbourg this morning, this afternoon. Let's talk about it. In the meantime, Catherine Costello says, I'm tuning in live for the first time. Well, welcome to the show. Day B says, could you please stop shouting when you speak? I adore you, but I'm tired of having to adjust the volume on my device when I listen to you. I love you, my friend. Face blue smiling, face blue smiling, face blue smiling. I don't... My software doesn't do the smiley faces. So great. I don't know what a face blue smiling... Right. So the week started for me last week when I did the show, and then the next day we went to Madrid. We went to Madrid. Madrid. Hombre, lo que pasa es que estamos aquí en Madrid, en Plaza Mayor, haciendo todas las cosas que tenemos que hacer como turistas. Muy bien. It was a nightmare to get to Madrid. I mean, again, I had problems with Uber. I have a message for Uber, the platform. First of all, stop fucking over your employees. Second of all, make them employees instead of just like freeloading off of them, taking all the money and paying them fuck all. But here's the biggest issue that I've come up with for Uber, for me, it's a very specific case scenario. It's where you have a multiple destination trip. I am traveling on my shows with me, my manager, Adam, and my light and sound guy, Manu. And we all live in different parts of Paris. And basically, every time we go to the airport, in order to reduce costs and reduce car emissions, we share a taxi. Now, on Uber, the cool thing is that you're supposed to be able to do multiple destinations. You go, well, let's start here, then here's the next stop, then here's the next stop, then the final stop is the airport. Now, I learned recently, because I went off on a rant about this a couple of weeks ago, that I was like, Uber, this is great. This is why I don't take a taxi or order a taxi off of the G7 app because you can't do multiple destinations, right? So normally that's great because it's fantastic and you do it and it seems on our side as a customer easy to do. Twice now, including Madrid last week, the guy showed up and I get into the car with my backpack and little mini bag. He's like, oh, why don't you just leave it in the back seat with you? I'm like, oh, because there's 2 other people joining me on the trip. And the guy's like, no, je fais pas ça. No. I'm like, mate, I ordered a multi-destination trip and you accepted it. So what the fuck is going on here? This time, I actually was in the car for about 5-10 minutes driving, and he kept on talking to himself, going, "Oui, mais non, mais non, mais oui, mais non, mais non, mais non, mais non, mais non, mais non, mais." I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I booked, I did multiple destinations. I don't know. He's like, oh, I didn't see that. I only saw that it said Paris Orly Airport from where I live, which for him is just like a pretty decent amount of money, 1, and 2, it's a straight line. But for some reason, Uber in the app doesn't tell the fucking driver that there's multiple destinations. So he thought he was just going to the airport. We were coming from outside of Paris, the suburbs where I live, into Paris to then go back outside of Paris. But I did it in the app and apparently it was fine. Anyway, it drove me nuts because what I ended up doing, he was so rude to me that I just walked out of the car and just took my shit and just left the door open and the boot, and he started shouting at me and I was like, yeah, fuck off. So then we ended up getting a taxi, a real taxi, and I just said, here are the destinations. He's like, fine, yeah, no problems. And then we got to the airport a little bit late, but it was okay. Anyway, we got to Madrid. Madrid, hombre, lo que pasa. Estamos aquí en Madrid. It was great. Madrid was so cool. It was really cool to be back where I lived as a teenager. I spent 2 years in Madrid as a teenager, and it was just fun to be back in the streets of kind of like where I grew up, in a sense, a little bit. I've been back multiple times since then, but it was just fun to be back there for a show. I'd never performed my show in Spain, especially a bilingual English-French show in Spain. What are you doing, Paul? Are you fucking crazy? But anyway, Madrid was great. It was this really nice little theatre. Let me see if I've got a photo that I can show you. It was like a proper, as the French would call it, théâtre à l'italienne, an Italian theatre. I don't know if that exists. Here we go. Here's some pictures for you. What here? Oh, there we go. That's like the ceiling of the theatre, and then like the actual theatre. This is Adam, my manager, on stage, looking fabulous. And yeah, it was just like this really nice little theatre, and it was amazing. The show went amazing. It wasn't full, it wasn't sold out, but we were like, I don't know, 75% sold out. The reason why the show wasn't sold out is it started at 10:30. Who starts a show at 10:30 p.m. Now, I understand the Spanish like to live a little bit later than the rest of us, but this is 10:30 p.m. on a fucking Tuesday. So it wasn't sold out. This is the first time in my entire life that I start a show on one day and I finish it the next day, because we finished at midnight, and so technically it was another day. The show went great. Madrid was amazing. It was a great start to the week, if I'm honest. So that was super fun. The next day, we go to Barcelona on Wednesday. Barcelona, hombre, la Rambla, Plaza de Castelao. Shut up, Taylor. Fucking hell, no one cares. Barcelona. The show went better than the show in Madrid, if I'm honest, because there were more people. It was about 360 people. The place was sold out. Again, it was another cool theatre. Do I have a picture? Do I have a fucking picture, mate? Yeah, there we go. Let's have a look at the picture. Oh, there we go. Just a cool little venue. The stage was a little bit weird. There was like this place where you could fall down the steps there, if you can see it on there. Basically, as you walk off stage, there's like a big drop where an orchestra could be. But it had a balcony and everything. The show in Barcelona, that was a fun show. And that was at 8:30, which is a normal time to start a show. 8:30, Barcelona on a Wednesday. The show was great. The audience. Speaking of the audience, it's the first time ever at a show somebody has done this to me. Those of you watching will understand. Those of you just listening, I will describe what is happening. As I walk on stage, there is a woman in the audience holding this above her head. And it's just a sign in a green piece of paper that says Paul with my face on it and a little speech bubble that says, "Are you talking to me?" As if I'm like Robert fucking De Niro. You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me? I don't know what this is. Have I said this in a video? Is this something that I say? Do I say this often? I don't know if I say this often, but it was super cool. She was sat in the front row just like, hey, Paul Taylor, hombre, lo que pasa es que... She wasn't Spanish. She was French. So that was awesome. That was cool to come out on stage with that. I've never had that before. So I kept it. It'll be in my little souvenir box of shit that people bring to me on stage. The show in Barcelona was great. In the evening, we went out just afterwards and had some of the most amazing food I've ever had in Spain. Just unbelievable cocktails that were non-alcoholic that were actually decent. Some beer that was non-alcoholic that was good. Just good times. Good times in Spain. In Madrid. En Barcelona. Hombre, lo que pasa... Oh, Jesus. And the show went well for a French-English show in Spain. Most of the people understood. Then I had a day off. I came back to Paris. A day off. It wasn't a day off. We got back in the afternoon, and then I had meetings all day about stuff that might be happening or not happening next year regarding me doing English comedy. Like full English comedy is what's on the plan for next year. Had a couple of meetings. They were great. And then got home and got to spend somewhat of an evening with my daughter and wife. And basically, my wife and I ended up talking about work. So we worked for most of the evening together. And then the next day, this is where things get exciting, ladies and gentlemen. We went to Vraiment Merlebac. Hands up in the comments right now. Who has heard of Freming Merlebac? What a fucking shithole. Oh, mate. So already to get there, it's 2 trains and in a taxi from the train station, a 25-minute drive to the venue. Vraiment Merlebac. I'd never heard of this place, nor has anyone else. It's out in the middle of nowhere in the east of France on the border with Germany, right? And this is how much of a shithole it is. It used to be 2 cities, one called Vraiment, one called Merlebac, and they were so shit together that they decided to combine them into one city called Vraiment Merlebac. And there's only one town hall and one mayor now. There used to be 2, but they had nothing to do. So like, fuck it. We need to get... we need to combine forces like the Power Rangers to make it a slightly less shit city. Here's how shit the city of Vraiment Merlebac is that it's so shit there wasn't a hotel good enough for us to sleep in apparently. So we had to change countries, go into Germany and sleep in Germany. Und the Deutschland, guten Nacht. You are staying with us for one night. We just need a signature here, yeah? We had to sleep in another country. That's how shit Vraiment Merlebac was as a city. The show and the people were good. The show, if I'm going to be honest, the people of Vraiment Merlebac, the show, from my point of view, wasn't amazing. It wasn't great because I could hear from the beginning of the show that the level of English was not great. And the jokes that I was doing in English didn't work like they normally do. But that is also because a lot of the room was filled with older people who are like regulars that go to that theatre. The best part about Vraiment Merlebac is the fucking theatre, especially the host, Isabelle, the local host, the local promoter who puts on the shows, who books the shows. She cooks this amazing food backstage for us before the show and after the show. The welcome and the people were so nice. The audience, even though they understood fuck all in English, were some of the nicest people that I've met after the show. Because I spoke to some of them after the show. Everyone was adorable, amazing. They loved it. It went great. But I was on stage and it was difficult. It's one of those shows where I got off stage and I was like, oh God, that was so painful. It was difficult. It was difficult for me to do the show. I'm going to be honest, it was difficult. But speaking to the audience afterwards reassured me that they enjoyed it because I was like, oh Jesus, none of these jokes are working. Those of you who've been to see my show, you know some of the jokes that I do in English. And even talking about the fact that doing English jokes in France doesn't always work when you do play on words. And I had to explain the explanation of the explanation. It was unforgettable. So yeah, listen, the city wasn't great. The show was okay. We slept in Germany. Not only did we sleep in Germany, right? When we arrived from the train station in France to go to Vraiment Merlebac, basically we went to the venue. We had lunch cooked by the wonderful Isabelle, and then I went back with Adam, my manager, to the hotel in Germany, and then. Like 4 hours later, they took us back into France, into the venue. We did the show, and then when we finished the show, we had dinner again, and then drove back into Germany. So my phone was going crazy, being like, bonjour, bienvenue en Allemagne. Vous pouvez utiliser, bonjour, bienvenue en Allemagne. Bonjour, bienvenue en Allemagne. We crossed the border 3 times. Because then the next day, we had to take a bus, like a coach, a bus from Vraiment Merlebac. No, where were we sleeping? We were sleeping in a city in Germany called Saaren something? Saaren... I can't even remember the name of the town. I've got to look it up. Vraiment Merlebac. What's the German city next to it? Where is it? Somebody help me out in the comments. Oh, Saarbrücken. And we had to take a bus from there to Luxembourg the next day, because then we did a show. This is when the show started getting crazy, okay? Luxembourg happened on Saturday in a casino, Casino 2000, in like a suburb of the city of Luxembourg, right? On the border with France as well, in a place called Mondorf-les-Bains. And there's nothing else in this place apart from the casino. The people of the casino were adorable. What a welcome. We stayed in the casino at night. And the show, it was a very special moment for me, Luxembourg, because I hadn't been to Luxembourg. The last time I was at that venue was on the 12th of March, 2020. Which was a couple of days before COVID and lockdown happened. It was the final show I did before the months of lockdown. And here's how fucked up it was. I was in Luxembourg. We were allowed to do the show on the 12th of March because at that point, you could have any event under 1,000 people. And we were at like 600. So we were allowed to do the show. While I was on stage, the Luxembourg government were just like, oh, by the way, every event that's under 100 is no longer allowed to perform. This is while I'm on stage. We finished the show, and at the end I was like, I guess this is the last show, thanks very much. And it was the last show because 3 days later, lockdown. So it was great to be back in Luxembourg. Some of you, I think, were at the show. It was unbelievable. Luxembourg. It was the biggest show up until that point. It was about 1,100 people. And it was crazy. The audience were great. I felt great on stage. It was just such energy coming from the audience in Luxembourg that I haven't had in such a long... The last time I had a show that good was in Melbourne in Australia. And it was like 900 people. It's just a wave of people of laughter, of applause. It was great. Luxembourg, one of the best shows and biggest that I had done up until that point. And then we managed to watch the end of the rugby. Oh, at the casino bar, they had a big screen, and I watched England lose like assholes to South Africa in the rugby semi-final. So that was annoying. But then straight away afterwards, some dancers got on the stage in front of the big screen and started like fucking doing some dancing to promote one of their new casino machines. I don't know how this works. They were from Spain, the dancers, very good dancers. And it actually ended up being a great evening. So Luxembourg, thank you for a great evening. But it was nothing in comparison to what happened last night. Ladies and gentlemen, Strasbourg. The people of Strasbourg are now my favorite people on the planet. I can't even describe the show last night. It was 1,800 people. And a place that I've performed at before. I did the same venue a year and a half ago in January 2022, when I almost one of the last shows of my previous show. But this time, I don't know what happened, man. It was like from the beginning, the noise was outrageous of just the audience noise. Like it was, when I do the announcement backstage being like, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir, bienvenue à mon spectacle. And I say the name of the city and I'm like, make some noise. You know, usually people are like, yay, great, get on the stage. This place was outrageous. Strasbourg, it was, I've got no words for it. I can't even describe the feeling. I did the show, and at the end of the show, the noise was so deafening. Luckily, one guy that I spoke to in the audience at the beginning from Canada, when I was like, hey, are there any English people in the room? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, what's your name? I can't remember his name. And I'm like, where are you from in England? And he goes, I'm from Canada. I'm like, what? So already, the show was off to a great start, because of this Canadian guy didn't have a clue what was And at the end of the show, when I finish, I'm like, thanks very much, Strasbourg, you guys are amazing. He is the only one to stand up. He stands up on his own. He's like row 2, okay? He stands up on his own. No one else. Everyone can see him. 1,799 people saw him stand up and were just like, no, il n'y a pas de standing ovation. We're not doing... And so I called him out. I'm like, mate, thanks for attempting a standing ovation. I appreciate the love. And then after that, 2 girls got up not far from him. And the 2 girls had this in their hand, right? Let me get it out of my bag. The 2 girls were stood up behind him like this. Okay, with a flag of the Union Jack, just held up, one of them holding up each side of the thing. And I'm like, no one has ever brought a flag to my show before. As if it was like, this is what rugby people, I mean, not rugby or football, because we don't use that flag, but it was, And then obviously the 1,800 people got up. I've got some photos of of the girls standing up with the flag. I think with no one else stood up at this point. Where is it? Let me have a look at I thought I had the photo. Oh yeah, there we go. You can just see the Canadian guy and the 2 girls standing up. Go on, mate. This is not the picture. Let me have a look. Why is that not working? Why is it still showing my old photo? That's a bit weird. Has my phone gone weird? To see this, I mean, it was Strasbourg. I don't have the words. I think. Let me. If this. There we go. So there's the 2 lovely ladies with the flag. Everyone else is sat down except for the Canadian guy on the right-hand side here, and stood up. And I'm pointing to him, being like, "Yeah, mate, thanks for attempting a standing ovation." And the girls get up with the flag, and then it just went mental. It went absolutely crazy from there. I jumped down and got the flag, and went back up on stage. I'm just grabbing some photos here from some of the people on Instagram that tagged me. The show was incredible. And I did a video at the end of the show, like I do at the end of every show, and to post it on social media to be like, hey, thanks so much, blah, blah, blah. I could barely hear myself talk. If you haven't seen the video, let me just play it for you. Here, let me use Echo Cancel. Right, listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, I need to put the video up as well. Ready? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people of Strasbourg. This has been the best show of all of them. They even brought me a fucking flag. Strasbourg, 1,800 people. Oh, fucking hell.
I've never experienced anything like that on stage. It was, the word is outrageous. I have no other words to describe it. It was crazy. I didn't even know what to do when I got off stage. Adam, my manager, who was fucking some sort of wall. I don't even remember what he was. This is why the podcast is called Fuck the Wall, because backstage, when I come off stage, my manager Adam, instead of saying, "Oh, that was great and fantastic," he's just in the mindset of like, "That was so good, I could fuck the wall." So he was fucking something. I don't remember. It was unbelievable. Strasbourg, thank you so much. I think it's the best show that I've ever done in the 7 years of doing shows. I can think of some, like the top shows that I can think of, again, were Luxembourg. Dijon this year was unbelievable. Marseille was great as well. Melbourne was at the top of the list up until this weekend. La Cigale was great at the beginning of the year in January. For my previous show, Le Grand Rex, one of the shows that I did there was great. Lille was unbelievable last year. There was some great, but this one, I don't know. Here's the weird thing though. It wasn't really the best show for me on stage. Like during the show, there's some shows that I'm like at one with the audience and I'm really there with you guys and I feel free and there's nothing, I feel in my movements, it's just like riding a wave and perfectly riding a wave. I don't have another way of describing it really, unless you're like surfing or you're snowboarding or skiing or something and you're just like gliding and there's no like resistance. Sometimes if you're skiing and there's like ice, you're putting more effort in because that like yesterday, it was a little bit like that because the sound for me was horrific. Like there was this massive echo. The room was so big that I was hearing my voice coming out of the speakers, hitting the wall at the back, and then coming back to me and then coming into my ears. And by the time it does that, it's like half a second. So it's like an echo. So I didn't feel 100% comfortable on stage yesterday. And also like I didn't feel like I was in the energy that I needed to be. But for some reason, something happened and it was just like, it was unbelievable. So Strasbourg, thank you for the greatest show that I've ever done. Which compares to a couple of weeks ago, which was the worst show that I've ever done in Faro in Portugal. It's so in front of 37 people with 3 kids in the front row. This job is high. The lows are fucking low and the highs are really high. So Strasbourg, you guys were unbelievable. Thank you so much if you came to the show. And I cannot wait to do even better. I hope it's even better in Toulouse next week. I hope in Montreal at l'Olympia it's going to be better. I hope at Le Zénith in Paris it's going to be better. But I don't know if it is. Like I feel like I've reached peak. Stop texting me. I've reached peakness. I don't know. Anyway, that was amazing. And that was yesterday. And now I'm back home for 2 weeks. Yes. I'm so happy to be home for 2 weeks. It was great. I'm happy to be home for 2 weeks to spend some time with my wife and daughter and my mum. My mum is coming to visit. Hello, mother. Hi, fucking mother. Jesus Christ. She's coming over. So that's going to be great. Because I've been on the road for 8 weeks. 8 weeks ago, we were in Mauritius and we did the whole of England, Scotland, Ireland, the Netherlands, Budapest. No, yeah, that's not a country though, is it? Berlin, Vienna, Switzerland, Portugal, Spain, Luxembourg, France as well. I'm just happy to be at home just for a little bit, to have a little bit of time off. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the time off, to be honest. What should I do with my time off? Anyway, enough of me talking shit. What about you? How are you? What questions do you have for me? Misha Luna, I already hate hearing the echo of my own voice when I'm on the phone with someone. I can't imagine doing a 1 hour show like that. Yeah, it's kind of off-putting, and you just have to power through and get used to it. So the thing is, you can't really know what's going to happen before you get on stage, because when we did the sound check before, it was echoey, but often having 1,000 people in the room absorbs all of the echo, but it was still there when I did it. It was rough, but it was okay. Is your mother going to be a guest on this show? Merci. She might be. Next Monday. Mum, if you're up for it, we should do a Fuck the Wall special where I get another... I don't know how I'm going to set up this whole studio to have an extra microphone, but we'll do it. We shall do it. When are you coming back to Bordeaux? I love your content as a French English teacher. Bordeaux is the 18th of November, but I think it's sold out. Sorry. You can try and find tickets, but so yeah, that's what else? What else did I have? Oh yeah. Oh, shout out, by the way, to, hold on. What was her name? Who gave me the flag? Christelle Alice. Thank you. I appreciate the flag. I don't know what I'm going to do with the flag. You know what I should have done with the flag? I should have left it on stage with a pen for everyone to like sign it, that wanted to sign it, and then I would have put it up in the studio. It's too big to put up in the studio, but that I thought about that afterwards. I was like, oh. Speaking of signing stuff, a huge shout out, because here's the thing. Every time we go on tour, I need a pint glass and a stool to put it on. And often we have difficulty finding a pint glass, which is weird for some reason. A pint glass that looks like an English pint glass, right? So in Strasbourg, the thing that they found for me was a 1 liter Stein, like the 1 liter German fucking... I used to have one, actually. Do I still have it? No, I don't know where it's gone. But basically, it was a Stein lent to me by somebody who I can't remember their name, because I've just taken a screenshot on Instagram. I need to find her name now. I can't not find her name. Who was it? It's Anne. It's Anne Yu. Anne Yu on Instagram. She tagged me because she lent me or she lent us, and then she asked me to sign it, I think for her son, and it was a really nice message because she got it from Munich 20 years ago, this thing, and I gladly signed it for Tom. I don't know who Tom is, and it was great. It was fucking heavy, but it was great. This is me drinking it on stage, or attempting to drink it and hold it. I've got no muscles in my arm. My beer belly was taking the the extra weight there. Eine Maß, Patrick Schnuili, that's it. It's an Eine Maß. Will you be coming back to Strasbourg? Of course I'll be coming back to Strasbourg at some point with a full English show. Speaking of full English shows, Sandy de Rubus Fructitious. If you'll work on an English-only show, would Luxembourg be a choice to come with that one? Yeah, everywhere I'm going, basically, will work for the English show, apart from Fremont Merlebach. Because apart from, honestly, like, let's say 3-4 shows this year, one of them was in, the first one that went badly was in Canteleu, outside of Rouen. And it's not the geography, it's the type of venue. It's a place that buys your show, and they invite all of their abonnés, the people that are subscribed to that theatre, who tend to be older people. And in general, older people don't tend to understand English. And some of them don't even know that the show is in English. But everywhere else I go that I've been, out of the 75 shows that we've done so far, I would say 70 of them have gone really well, and everyone has understood the English and the French. So I could just do the same tour again in France, but with an English only show, but my goal is to do it only in English-speaking countries to start with, because they don't know who I am. French people now that come to my show, they know who I am because I've, had 7 years of doing a career in France. But no one in the English-speaking world knows who I am, so I kind of need to start again and present myself and be like, hi, I'm English, I've been living in France, and kind of go over some of the stuff that I've talked about already in my first couple of shows in France. So it would have to be a different show anyway, I think, at some point. What else is going on? Let's hear your questions, ladies and gentlemen. What's the time? Oh, we've been going 40 minutes. We got time for some questions, and then we'll do some terrible translations to finish off the show as well. Are you planning to come around Biarritz? I love your shows. Yes. The closest place we are going to next to Biarritz is Bayonne. I think that's near Biarritz, isn't it? Bayonne. Bayonne is next to Biarritz on... I'll find you the date right now. I'll find you the date. Is that English? Do we say that? I don't think we say that in English, do we? I will find the date for you. It's at the end of the... it's on the 3rd of December. There you go, in Bayonne, near Biarritz. Come and see the show, my friend. It'd be amazing to have you there. What about an all-French show? Well, yes, that is on the cards as well, is to do a French-only show for maybe the people that haven't been able to come to the first 3 shows because they're worried about their level of English. So that is to come, but I'm not doing that straight away, because if I start doing that, here's what happens now in France. If I do another show in France now, is that I'm going to be in the machine of doing the show in Paris for a couple of months and then going on tour, because that's what the producers will want, and I won't be able to focus on my English show. I'll have no time to do the English show. So that's why I am putting a pause a bit on my career in France for my full show to work on English stuff, and I'll still be living in France, in Paris, doing shows in Paris, but it might just be like shows with friends, Paul Taylor and friends, where I invite some friends of mine to be on stage with me. Well, not with me, you know what I'm talking about. Fucking shows where I'm like, hey, welcome. I do some minutes, and then I invite a comedian up. They do some minutes, and then it goes on from there. So yeah. Do you know what I mean? When are you going to come to Canada? You missed the beginning of this podcast. In 2 weeks, I'm doing the whole of Canada. Ottawa, Quebec, Montreal, Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. Check out my website. Joe Trevi says, if you make a show in English, crapping all over the French, you'll make millions. That's the plan, Gio. That is the plan. And then I'll come back to France and be like, I'm sorry I made fun of you. No, it's not even that. It's that I'll make fun of the French, but I have already the French on board, the people in France. I've already conquered them, and they know that I'm one of them, and they know that I make fun of them, but they enjoy it as well. So now they can invite their English-speaking colleagues to the shows with them for me to make fun of them. And also, I mostly make fun of myself and my wife and my daughter. And a bit of France in there because my wife is French and my daughter's a bit French. So it all ends up coming around that, right? Somebody was talking about Richard. Who is Richard? Mylène says, Richard was the best. I can't wait for you to come back to Strasbourg. The audience was insane. You're welcome back anytime. There was an English guy called Richard at the show yesterday in Strasbourg. He was great. He was fantastic. I spoke to him at the beginning, and he had been here for, I think, like 23 years in Strasbourg with his wife, and spoke great French, but with the charming accent, right? Bonjour, bonjour, je voudrais, je m'appelle Richard, je suis ici à Strasbourg depuis 23 ans. It was nice, and the audience loved him. He was right in the middle. Shout out to Richard if you ever watch this or listen to this. I don't know if you do, but Fabrice, I wish I was at Strasbourg, but my wife doesn't understand English. So either your next show is Subdue, or I'll have to find another wife. I don't know what you mean by the next show is Subdue. I imagine you mean in French. I don't even know what subdue means. Define subdue.
Subdue means overcome, quieten,
bring a country under control. Bring to subdue this. Okay. I don't know if that's the right. I don't know, but yeah. You'll have to find it. Here's Fabrice. Here's a deal. For my English only show, find you another wife, and then when I come back to Strasbourg with a French only show, just go back to your ex, and then winner, chicken dinner. Great question from Triella. Est-ce que ta fille a appris à prononcer correctement la crema solaire? Right. If you don't have the reference, you haven't watched my second show, So British ou Presque, where I talk about the fact that my daughter at some point sounded like a Guadeloupean lady trying to say sun cream, going la crema solaire, la crema solaire. Here's the thing. She does now pronounce crème solaire correctly. But what's even funnier is she knows that saying la crema solaire makes me laugh. So she'll just be walking, like this summer, when we were at the house and we needed to put on some sun cream, she'd be like, I'd be like, oh, we need to put on some sun cream, Louise, because I speak to her in English. I'm like, oh, hey, we need to put on some sun cream, otherwise you'll get burnt. And she looks at me with a cheeky little smile and she goes, la crema solaire? So now she is actually being racist. No, it's not even that. It's funny how like kids know what makes you laugh, so they just do the same thing. So she knows that I find her saying that funny, and now she repeats it, but she does know how to say it properly. She goes, crème solaire, crème solaire. Great question. Sandy, the Rubus Fructus, how about doing a book for kids to learn English, but this time, real English speakers, not Pierre Dupont and his family? Yeah, if those of you who haven't come to see my live show, come and see it, because basically I talk about this book here, which is a book of English nursery rhymes, but it's sung by French people. So I kind of have a laugh with this book, and I have actually thought about doing a book of English nursery rhymes with my friend Charlie Winston, who is a musician. And we've thought about the idea of like re-recording an English nursery rhyme book, him doing the music and singing, and me just watching him. Or both of us singing, because singing nursery rhymes isn't that complicated. And at least we'd have like, one, good music in the book, and two, good actual English accents. So Sandy, check out, or just follow me, throughout the evolution of my career over the next year or so, and maybe we'll make that happen. If there's any book publishers out there watching this, then give me a call, and we'll make it happen. Charlie Winston, Paul Taylor, English nursery rhymes. Would that not be the most amazing collaboration ever? An English nursery rhyme book with Charlie fucking Winston. It would be amazing. Our friend earlier on was talking about subtitles, not subdued, subtitles. Okay, there we go. Good work, people on the live. Good work. Kristen Kim has bought the book of Cantine Anglaise. Can you autograph my copy? Of course I can, Kristen Kim. Also, if you come and see me at Le Zénith in Paris on the 6th of January next year, I will probably give away, I will probably throw that book into the audience since I won't need it anymore because it will be the last show. Having said that, we have bought 3 copies of the book just in case one of them breaks and just in case 2 of them breaks. But this is the original book that was gifted to us by some close friends, the parents of some of our close friends. And it's the original one still. We've changed the batteries a bunch of times. But I've got 2 new books. I shit on the book for the show, but I've bought 3 of them. So... and I'm doing, hey, all publicity is good publicity, right? There you go. Raquel, I answered the question. There we go. Robbins, is it the book you talked on TV with Laurent Ruquier, with the alphabet? Yes, it is that book. But I go through a couple of other songs as well in that book, Robbins. Did the book go up on Amazon because of you making fun of it? No, but I have seen some of the comments of that book on Amazon, and they're hilarious. They're basically... They're basically the same thing. Sandy, you would buy the book with me and Charlie Winston. Well, there you go. Let's fucking do it, mate. Skameth, question importante, Paul. T'as supporté l'Angleterre, la France ou l'Irlande durant la Coupe du Monde de rugby? Attention, il y a un piège ou deux. There is no piège. What's a piège? There's no trap. It's England. There's, unfortunately, something happened inside of me as a human where if we're playing sports, if it's the Olympics, I'm obviously for Team GB because they're all combined into one. If it's football or rugby, I'm England. Unless, of course, Ireland are playing New Zealand like they were in the quarterfinals, was it? Or was it the last 16? Anyway, Ireland lost to New Zealand. It was one of the most amazing matches. Was it Ireland that played New Zealand? I feel like they did. I feel like they just lost. And it was an amazing... So I wanted Ireland to win. And when France are playing another team that isn't Ireland... Look, basically, this is the order. England, then Ireland, then France. Okay? So if England are playing Ireland, I'm for England. If England are playing France, I'm for England. If Ireland are playing France, I'm from Ireland, or I'm for Ireland. If France needs to not be playing Ireland or England for me to be rooting for France. However, so when France were playing South Africa, I really wanted France to win because I wanted there to be a France-England semi-final. Oh, that would have been amazing. A repeat of the Football World Cup quarter-final last November. Oh, that would have been great, and we would have fucking lost. But it would have been fun. Yeah, there we go. Keen Duffy Foss, your mother must hate you. She doesn't hate me. I mean, she hates England and everyone. What was that thing that I talked about in a previous podcast? I support Ireland and everyone that plays against England. Have you ever thought to be a teacher? It's a good question, but not really, no. I don't know how... I mean, I used to be a teacher, I guess, at Apple. I used to be a trainer. They called it a training instructor. It's basically being a teacher. But yeah, it's I don't know if I would have the patience to teach kids. Adults, maybe. But also, if it was English, I wouldn't be able to teach English because I don't know how English works. I could probably teach French if I opened up a grammar book quickly and reminded myself of the grammar and the terms. Because I learned French. So when you learn French and Spanish, you learn the grammar. Whereas when you learn English as a native English speaker, you don't learn the grammar. So I don't know how English grammar works, to be honest. So yeah. What else? What else have we got? Oh, we've been going for 53 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do one more question. And then we'll move on to the translations, the terrible translations that you guys send me, that you find out in the wild or on the internet of shit that's badly translated, and we make fun of it. Because we are all legends, aren't we? Do you ever support Scotland? Yeah, when they're playing France. That wasn't the question I'm going to answer. Right. Daniel Cobolone, will you ever come to Norway? Right. Yes is the answer. I would love to come to Norway. And this is why I am going to work on an English-only show after this. Whether it's 15, 20 minutes as part of a comedy club thing or a full hour. Because I know that I can come to Norway and do shows in English, like all of the English-speaking comedians have done. The Dave Chappelle's, Ricky Gervais, Jimmy Carr, all of the comedians, the bigger comedians in the UK and the US and Australia can go to Norway, Finland, Stockholm. Right now, with the show that I'm doing, I don't think there'd be enough French people in those places to come to the show that would make financial sense if I show up and there's 30 people in the room, just like there were in Faro in Portugal. So yeah, we haven't done those countries yet with this bilingual show because it's a bit too much of a risk, and no one up there's no local promoters that have been like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Bring your bilingual French-English show to us. So one day, I would love to do a show in Norway and the rest of the northern countries, as well as the Eastern European countries, because why not? It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do some terrible translations. Now, if this is your first time watching this podcast live or listening to it afterwards, you can send me your translations. When you see like a bad translation on a restaurant menu, out in the street, in a shop, whatever it is, send it to me at my email address that I've created, which is terribletranslations, FTW, fuck the wall, at gmail.com. Terrible translations, FTW at gmail.com. And we'll go through them. We'll see what they are. So now that I've set up the email account on my phone, let's go through some of the terrible translations. Some of you will send them to me on Instagram. Do not send them to me on Instagram. I can't be dealing... Here's the thing. 1,800 people yesterday came to the show, and about 500 of them tagged me in photos and sent me messages. And so I'm not, because I'm doing big shows for the rest of the year, I'm going to miss your message if it's for the translation. So that's why the email is going to be better. Productivity. Where am I going? I'm going to other, and I'm going to Gmail, the Gmail application. Right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what great stuff you've come up with this time. So I'll start from the first unread message, which is from Alex Savage Boudot. He goes, hi there, I think you're going to love that. Love that. Seen in Boulogne-sur-Mer in a restaurant. Regards. Okay, let's go. So the first one is soupe de poisson in French. The English translation is fish, soup, and rust. What? Fish soup and rust. Rouille. Rust, as in metal rusting. Fish soup and rust. I can't even imagine what that is. Because you know when you have like these bad translations, you try and find the logic behind them. Fish soup and rust. I've got no idea. If anyone's got any ideas, let me know. Oh, rouille is a sauce too. Says, la rouille, c'est une sauce qu'on met avec le soupe de poisson. Oh. Oh, la rouille. Rust is a sauce. Oh my God, that is amazing. Oh. Right. Number 2, assiette de hareng doux mariné. Right, if I was to try, I'm not even looking at the English one yet. What is it? Assiette hareng doux mariné. That would be, so it's a plate, right? Hareng is herring, which is a fish. Doux means like sweet, not sweet, but like not spicy or, not sweet. I don't know. Mariné, marinated in a sauce that's not. What have they translated it? Plate of marinated soft herring. Oh, classic mistake between doux, meaning soft, as opposed to unsalty or unspicy. Oh, Jesus. Right. Assiette de crevettes à la vierge. Okay, so it's the English translation should be prawns. I don't know what à la vierge is. À la vierge, to me, sounds like there's no sauce on it. Or there's like very basic sauce. I don't know. Let me know. Here we go. What does it say in English? Where are we? I've lost it. A plate of shrimps in the Virgin. A plate of shrimps in the Virgin. Oh my God, France. What are you doing? Oh, and then they're like, no, we're not a sexist country. A plate of shrimps. First of all, it's not shrimps. It's fucking prawns. Because that's the correct... Shrimps are like the tiny, tiny little fucking things. Which is why it always annoys me when people, when they imitate Australians, go, yeah, put another shrimp on the barbie, mate. Australians don't call them shrimps either. They call them fucking prawns. I don't know where that marketing came from. Anyway, prawns in the Virgin. Dans la Vierge. Okay, Right, in the sauce vierge. Somebody tell me what sauce vierge is. Huile assaisonnée. Okay, so it's oil that's seasoned. Okay, great. Now, I have a problem with this. I don't know. It annoys me so much, but I want to understand. I want somebody to tell me why this happens. Right? Let me give you this another example where this is the same problem. It's between a, la, ou au, in the, right? I used to fly a lot in my old job from Apple. I used to always land in Paris. And there used to be these digital posters which they tried to do a little franglais thing for the tourists where it would say, Bienvenue. Here's what it should have said. It should have said, instead of saying Bienvenue à Paris, it would say Bienvenue in French, and then the rest of it is in English. Now, if you were to translate Bienvenue à Paris, you would say Welcome to Paris. They had this translated for the millions of people that would land in Paris, the most visited city in the entire world. It would say Bienvenue in Paris. And I don't know why this mistake happens. Because if you translate à in English, it's to, always. Je vais à la maison. I'm going to the house. Je vais au supermarché. I'm going to the supermarket. It's not in. I don't understand what this mistake is. Same thing. Assiette de crevettes à la vierge. In the Virgin. Dans la Vierge is the translation back to French. Ladies, would you like some shrimp? Would you like a plate of shrimps inside of you? Oh, Jesus. Mate, this is... We're only on number 3. I haven't even gotten to number 4. Right. I can't even read that in French with the handwriting. Something de raie, sauce au capre. Ail, aile de raie, sauce au capre. Aile de raie, I think is like, I don't even know what that is. It's some sort of fish with caper sauce. Shate, wipes, caper. What? Shate, I think, is a fish, isn't it? Or a skate. Is it skate? I give up. It's just too good. How long have we been going for? Fucking hell. All right, 1 hour and 2 minutes. Let's go. Skate, wipes, caper. I don't know. Caper is the only word that's right there. Wipes. Somebody help me. Aile de raie. Somebody's come up with a good counter argument to what I've said. Lex Zimmet, Emily in Paris. Oui, mais c'est pas Emily à Paris. C'est pas la traduction. It's not. It's like you can say I'm in Paris. I'm in London right now. Oh, I'm in Birmingham. I'm in Strasbourg. I'm in Luxembourg. You're in the city, but if you're going to, you can't say welcome in a place. You have to be welcome to the place. Again, I'm not an English teacher. I don't know why, but you can't say Emily to Paris. You can say welcome Emily to Paris. Can everyone please welcome Emily to Paris? Welcome to the new company. Welcome to. It's just maybe one of those idiomatic, whatever it's called. Jesus Christ. Pavé de saumon, sauce Annette. That should be easy. It's pavé de saumon is salmon, like salmon steak with Annette, aniseed sauce, whatever it's called. Oh, dill. Yeah, okay. What is this wipes about? Salmon wipes. As in water wipes that I wipe my daughter's ass with. I don't understand. Wipes is a sauce I get. Skate wings in caper... Oh, wings. Skate wings in caper sauce. Jenny Richards is what that should have said. Oh, God. I'm tired. I'm tired of just... That's made me tired. That's only the first one. Oh, my God. Thanks, Alex. That was great. Keep them coming. Right, Victor Robbins says, Hi, Paul. Just saw this in a French toy shop. It may be Échappe au fantôme or Ghost Escape. We have a nice franglais here. Fantôme Escape. Yeah, exactly. Fantôme Escape. Escape. Hombre, escape. Libère vite tes fantômes avec le drone. That sounds like a fucking cool game, to be honest. But yeah, Phantom Escape. Yeah, because here's the thing. The French have gotten used to the word escape, as in escape games. An escape game. So that kind of works. Phantom Escape. But yeah, it should be. What were your suggestions? Échappe au fantôme, as in escape the ghost, or ghost escape. Yeah, good work, Victor. Love it. All right, Gaël. Good evening, Paul. Dans le film G.I. Joe, Conspiration, la mallette de contrôle missile nucléaire française est pleine de fautes de traduction. On y voit des boutons, bras avorté et puissance. What the fuck, of course. It stands for arm and abort. Power. Oh, okay. Merci pour le rire. Thank you, Gaël. Right, let's have a look at these screenshots. So this is G.I. Joe, which is a film, I guess. And they've changed it to puissance avorté, prêt, and bras. Oh my God. Verrouillage. Okay, the only one there that works is verrouillage, which means lock. Avorté. Wait, can you use the verb avorter in the context of abort missile, like abort a mission? You know, if it's like, oh, you know, you're on a mission to destroy something in a war movie and it's like, abort, abort. Can you use that in French? I'm not sure that you can, but in theory you could. Prêt, I guess, means ready. Bras, yeah, literally translated to arm, as in the missile is armed. It's armed, il est bras. The missile is ready. Abort the missile. Avorter le missile. Oui, on peut avorter une mission. Oui, on peut dire mission abortée. Oui, mais c'est pas avorter, c'est aborter, right? Okay, so what you're saying is aborter. Avorter, because avorter is an abortion, right? Is to abort a child. Wait, I'm getting confused now. Avort? Is avort an English thing? No, avorter. Aborter? Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. Aiden. Avorter une mission. Aborter, mais pas avorter. Maxime Boutet. All right, thank you very much. Oh, Jesus. Oh, terrible. This is awful. Right, these are great. These one. Hey, this week, you've crushed it. Diotrevi. Voici une traduction nulle du français à l'anglais côté chez moi. De l'autre côté, ça dit essai gratuit. Essai gratuit. Okay, and here's the picture. Essai gratuit. Try free. Yeah, it's supposed to be free trial, right? I guess. Cod Avello. So this is in Italy, presumably. Joe, maybe try, or are those try free? I mean, to be honest, it could work, Joe. It could work. Because you could say, like, I mean, try for free, but try free. Try free. Yeah, I think that can almost work, to be honest. Try it for free. Free trial. I would say a free trial is the better version of that. Maher Ahamane, what a legend he is. He's got some great ones. Last week it was Paul is dead in Arabic. Hello, Paul. Thanks a lot for featuring my terrible translation in the last episode, même si c'était déjà vu. Anyway, I hope you haven't seen this one. Still from the Middle East, presumably. The Middle? Still from the Middle. More precisely, the Shat al-Arab region in Iraq. Okay. Arab Shat. Fresh fish. No. Oh God. Arab. So shat is the past tense for the verb to shit in English. More specifically in British English. In American, they use it a little bit less. They sometimes say shitted, but Americans will say shat as well. An Arab shat fresh fish. Wow. That is crazy. I mean, I would want to buy my fish directly from there. Fresh as if the fresh fish shat out of an Arab person. I guess that's why it's called shat, and that's why he set it up, because it's from the Shat al-Arab region in Iraq. Oh, mate, that is outrageous. Oh, God. Too good. Right. Misha Luna, some terrible translations for you. Not my photos. They're from the Facebook group Traduction de Merde. Okay. Indian snacks. Collation indienne. Boondai. Bondi. Chickpea balls. Pois chiche couille. No. That's got to be photoshopped. chickpea balls. Pois chiche couille. Couille literally means balls, as in testicles. Oh, it's too good. That's too... Oh, this is today's. Oh, I'm already going into next week's one. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to spoil those other ones. Oh, because we're already into next week's territory. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, you have to keep these terrible translations coming in. They are so bad. Oh, but they make for some fun times. I'm sweating now. I'm so hot from laughing. Thank you for the fresh Arab shat fish. It's great. Oh, and God. Anyway, whew. All right, good times. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been live for 1 hour and 10 minutes. It is about time that we wrap this up. But I'm going to carry on for another extra hour with my members on Patreon. If you don't know or haven't joined me on Patreon yet, you can join me at patreon.com/Paul Taylor. You can now join Patreon for free. It used to be a paid-only platform where you support your favorite artists and creators and musicians and whatever. And now you can join it for free. And what that does is it makes sure that if I post something that is available for free to everyone, you will receive it, as opposed to being lost in the algorithm of Facebook. Sometimes the most frustrating thing for me, if I'm honest, as a comedian, is I post my tour dates and I'm like, hey, Toulouse, I'm coming. Canada, I'm coming next week. Then it's Bordeaux. Then it's the rest of it. And then like I do a show. We were in Strasbourg yesterday, right? And I know I'll get a message at some point. Oh, a little fucking thumbs up. I know I'll get another message at some point in the next couple of days being like, oh, quand est-ce que tu viens à Strasbourg? I'm like, fuck, I was just there. But because the post gets lost in the algorithm of Facebook or Instagram, you don't see everything that everyone that you follow posts. Whereas this is a great opportunity to make sure, if you really want to find out what I'm doing and make sure you don't miss a city or something fun, you can join me on Patreon for free and you will just receive an email when I post stuff. And then there's a paid part of Patreon, which is where I give exclusive content to the people that support me and buy me virtual beers, basically. And one of those things is an extra hour of this podcast every week and other exclusive videos, early ticket sales and things like that. And meetups. Even sometimes we meet up before shows and things like that. So come and join me on patreon.com/Paul Taylor. I'll be there for another hour. And if you don't join me on there, that's totally fine too. But you should just sign up anyway so that you receive all of my updates when I want them. Toulouse, I will see you in a couple of weeks. You're my next show, Toulouse, on the 3rd of November. Then it's Canada, as I said, the middle of, from the 7th till the 15th, I'm visiting all of the big cities in Canada. It's going to be great. And then next week, next Monday, if my mum is up for it, she will be a guest on the podcast. Mother Mary, I didn't see your message, Mum. I don't know if you're well, we'll talk about it. If you want to be on the show, you can be on it. If not, then no worries. But it would be fun because my mum is in town next week. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Fuck the Wall, episode number 7, Patreon. I'll see you in 5 minutes over on Patreon. And that is it. Next week, next Monday, 9 p.m., same thing. Everyone who's been listening to this as opposed to just watching, shout out to the legends that just listen to the podcast version of this. I love you guys. And I'll see you very soon, whether it's digitally or in real life. That's it. Bisous, bye.